Let's go, family. Happy Friday, happy blessed Friday. Let's get it, let's get it, let's go, let's go, let's go. We're gonna be starting here in a few minutes. All right. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. So happy Friday. You already know what time it is. It's your boy Crazy Faith, the God in the building, getting ready to drop some quick value for you guys today. Um, I hope you guys are having a blessed day today. So let's dive into it, right? Today's topic is actually gonna be um today's topic is actually gonna be the power of your weakness, right? The power of your weakness, right? So this is a really good one because we all don't like our weaknesses, right? We know what our weaknesses is, and sometimes we could feel like, like I still got this weakness, and but in actuality, that weakness is actually making you strong, right? Your weakness can make you strong. It's just you got to know how to move with it. You gotta let it strengthen you and not weaken you, right? And you do that by out enduring and outlasting it. You do it by or enduring the weakness and outlasting the weakness. That's how you become strong and powerful, no matter what it is, right? It could be, if it's a weakness that you have with food, right? You could always, refrain from eating a lot or just eat a good enough portion, right? And that ultimately builds up mental strength, right? That builds up mental strength when you could tell yourself, "Oh, I'm going to only eat that," and not a lot more than you should. You're giving yourself mental self control. That's mental self discipline, mental self controls, and that also empower you, right? So you could make your weakness into a strength, right? You could turn your weakness into a strength if you have a problem with chasing guys, right? If you if you have a problem chasing guys, right, you could refrain from it, right? Tell your flesh no, right, and live in a blood sacrifice, right, where you don't feed the flesh, you just live in spirit, right, and that could also strengthen your spirit and fortify your spirit and allow God to shape you and create you into the person that He needs you to be, right? You see how that weakness could be a strength, right? Now you're refraining from the guys and you're strengthening your spirit, you're strengthening your soul, you're strengthening your internal world, which makes you more powerful. And now you have full control over the flesh, right? You get to decide what you want to do. You have the power because you rule over that area of your life that made you stronger. Same thing with women, right? If you're chasing women and you have a problem with that, right? You just got to disconnect, right? Sacrifice the flesh, right? If that's your weakness, sacrifice the flesh, let your spirit become stronger. Now you have full control over that area of your life where you're not so easily to be drawn into chasing, right? And when you refrain and you sacrifice, you're telling your flesh that no, the spirit is in control. The flesh is not in control. That's essentially what you're doing, and you're giving more power to your spirit, which gives you more self control over the flesh, right? You see how your weakness could be channeled into something more powerful, right? You see how your weakness could become power if you know how to move with it, when you know how to take care of it, when you know how to use it, when you know how to use your mind, right? All of your weakness could fuel you towards God, right? All your weakness, you could take your weakness, transform it into the energy of God, and be more closer and more connected with God. You see how your weakness could become something strong? So it's all about turning your weakness into strength, right? The power of your weakness. You could turn it into strength, right? With me, I used to not be aware of this, right? Turning my weaknesses into strength. I was not aware, right? And I used to always be like, God, why do I always have this weakness? When are you gonna move this thorn? When are you gonna move this thorn out of my side, so to speak, right? And as I begin to live life and understand, like, you know, without this weakness, I would have never been this strong, right? That's so good. Without the weakness, without the shortcomings, without the weakness of ourselves, it could actually make us stronger. And when I begin to realize that, I'm like, okay, I start to switch my perception, right? Allowing my weakness to make me stronger, and not to get mad if you do feel a little weak, right? Because when you're weak, God is strong, right? So we got to be mindful of that. We got to be super, super mindful and not get discouraged when we encounter weaknesses, because the weakness is actually strengthening us, getting us strong if we know how to use it mentally, right? So don't get mad. If you're getting mad that you got a little weakness, nah, it's perfectly fine. Everybody has weaknesses. Every single body has an area of their life that they're weak at, right? And it's no shame. It's no shame. It's not to feel bad, but it's to learn from it and switch your perception towards it and make you stronger towards life. So we got to just switch our perceptions towards the weaknesses, and you'll see it differently, see it in a better light, and actually push forward and know what to do, right? So don't beat yourself up. Always forgive yourself, right? Always forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up, and understand who you are. You're not like everybody else. So don't compare yourself. Don't be like, oh, because they're doing it, let me be like them. No, God created you differently. God created all of us differently, right? And we gotta be okay. Like, if that works for them, that's cool. I'm happy for you guys over there. Yeah, let's go. Right? But for you, if things work a little bit different for you, that's okay too. I love me. I'm okay how things work for me, because if it works for me, it may not work for you, right? And it's totally fine. We're all different, and it's just being okay with what works for you and not looking over there and wanting what works for them, because what works for them may not work for you, and you got to be okay with that. You got to know how to adjust to everything that's going on, right? You got to be able to adjust. And I feel like once you are more aware of what works for you, you'll grow, you'll transform, you'll blossom, you'll bloom. But when you try to fit in a category with other people, is where you stay in a shell and things don't work out, right? So I'm gonna leave you guys with this, right? I'm gonna leave you guys with this. If you don't, if you don't like strengthen who you are as a person, if you don't let your weaknesses fuel you, if you don't let your weakness transform you into the person that God needs you to be, you'll just pretty much, not grow. It will be like living a limiting life, right? It will be like living a limited life if you don't if you can't see your weakness as power, right? You'll live a defeated, weak life, right? You will live it like it'll be like a blockage, right? Like it will be like a restriction. I would say it will be like a restriction. If you're seeing your weakness as weakness, you're gonna live in a restriction. But if you see your weakness as power, you will walk and live in power, right? So we got to shift our perspective so that way we can see things differently. So when we shift our perspective, what we see changes, right? So when you change what you see changes, right? We just got to switch our perspective. That's all it is. towards our weaknesses. Everybody has weaknesses, right? And you want to let those weaknesses strengthen you so you could grow and transform and see what's on the other side, right? So just don't have that one tunnel vision, but switch your perception, right? You guys got it. That's all you got to do. It's just a little minor adjustment, a little minor switch. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with that. With that being said, it's your boy Crazy Faith to God, and I just want to take some time. God, help your people transforms their mind, help them elevate, help them bloom, help them blossom, and let them let go whatever is holding them back. Let them transform their perceptions, their mindsets, as seeing their weaknesses as power, right? Transforming their weakness into strength. God, let that be a light shine upon you, and all the glory given back to you for shining that light and that perception on their lives and transform their mindset, giving them an immediate breakthrough and a free transformed life. In Jesus' name, let's grow. Let's become 1% better. Happy Friday once again. Let's go. Let's get it. Enjoy the day and be the best version God created you to be. Remember, God created you, people didn't. Let's grow.